So on to the main part of this update on my channel. I've just about completed the spindle grinder milling grinding spindle. It's functional now, although it could do with a bit of tidying up, some corners knocking off and so on. The bracket is complete. You can see there's a pivot here. It just clamps onto the tool post screw, bolt, whatever. And it was machined in a particular way such that the spindle is at centre height. Well, this is somewhat of a crazy setup. So excuse my voice, I'm just getting over a really bad cough. Anyway, what I want to do is mount this, which is the spindle from a grinder, exactly centre height. So what I've elected to do is I made this T-piece out of 1 inch thick aluminium. I thought I was going to have to use a between centre boring bar to cut a radius on centre height. Then I remembered I've got this 50mm face mill on an R8 shank. So, R8 shank, 3 jaw chuck, and it's cutting the required radius. So that will guarantee that the spindle will be at centre height when it's bolted onto it at least 2 times. And to set it up, to set it up such that it's parallel with the lathe bed, use a couple of centres. Run 1 in the front and then 1 in the back, wiggle it about a bit, and that is now at centre. It's now parallel with the lathe bed. A couple of temporary washers, spacers, and we can bolt it down. Like so. I showed it earlier how the spindle was made. It's got an ER20 spindle extension, I think they call it. It's basically a 20mm shaft, runs the length. 2 sets of bearings, there's a plain ball bearing. That's a shielded one, so I don't need to worry about that. It's waterproof and supposedly dust proof. However, the ones I bought for the rear, which are angular contact bearings, a pair of them, are not shielded. So for that I had to make this cover, which you see here. A rather complicated set of spacers in there, so there's a seal and nothing can get into the bearings. There's a twin pulley on the spindle. I'll show you some speed calibrations that I made. I'll add that in as a little video. So I've got a revs per minute meter, tachometer, so I can measure the speed at which this thing's spinning. I'll test it. That, according to the controller, is 1,000 revs per minute. Try the motor first. That's 970. 994, so that's pretty accurate. Try the actual spindle. And it decides to work. Well, that was a surprise. It's actually slightly less. That's 957. So that pulley must be slightly larger than that. I thought they were about the same size. Well, there you go. Put the speed up to maximum. Now that's reading 5,000 on the controller. Well, that's pretty good. Well, it was good. Oh, that's pretty close to 5,000. Yeah, again it's a bit less, 4864. Okay. Now I'm going to swap to the smaller pulley. To do that, I'll slacken it off, slacken the slide. Move the motor over, power down. Retension belt, oh, I'm not quite far off. That's about right. Okay. Again, that's set at 1,000. $9,872. $993. 991. $993. So it's about 1,000. That's 1,487. $1,487. Okay. And we'll put it up to top speed 5,000. 5,016. 8,324. I don't think that's right. That's more like what I expected to see. 7,489. So about 7,500. So it's a bit less. I was hoping for about 10,000. But yeah, that's what it is. But the tension is simply by gravity. That's it, that's all it requires. Doesn't slip. Well, the speed range is anywhere between 100 and about 4,800 on the large pulley, and up to about almost 1,500. Sorry, 8,000, 7,500 on the small pulley. So it's a bit slow for grinding, but then again, if I put a 3-inch grind wheel on, the surface speed should be enough to do some cylindrical grinding. And it works quite well. You have to adjust the motor for position, and that's achieved by having this bracket sliding on the base. Just loosen the lock screw here and this portion will slide. It's held in position by this angle piece. So that's one project out of the way. I want to move on to a new one. I also completed the 3mm parting blade holder, which is that one, which is currently attached to the rear tool post. I just had to make the tool holder. I also got rid of the wrench that was being used to clamp tools to the rear tool post. I was getting a bit fed up with it falling off. But so that's it. It's upside down, of course. Some tricky little angles for the cap, so it clamps the blade well. And a 3mm blade, 3mm wide blade. Don't know how much use it is on this particular lathe, which is a Myford S7B. It's quite a hefty bite, about 3mm. On the other hand, the blade is thicker than the 2mm blade, so in theory it's a bit stiffer, and so you could part off larger diameters. I doubt whether I'll use it that much. I'll give it a try a bit later. I mean, I've used it on a little bit of steel. So I've got a piece of 1¼ inch stainless there, and I'll have a go at parting that in a while. I bought from AliExpress some reamers last week. They were sent 5 of them, loosely packed together in a plastic envelope, so they're all able to smash against each other during transit. This one even lost one of its blades. For Christ's sake, how stupid can you get? And all of them are chipped and the cutting edges are ruined. So I complained to the seller, well, dogs. I complained to the seller and asked for either a refund or replacement, properly packed this time. So he just said okay. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Also on the D-bit grinder, I've now got a CBN wheel, which is way more suitable for cutting high-speed steel. This one's a 150 grit. The wheel, instead of being aluminium like the rest of them, the substrate is steel. That's a heavy wheel, but in actual fact it's better for longevity of the surface, the bonded surface. They tend not to peel, shed the coating quite as easily as the aluminium ones. Takes a little longer. It takes a little longer to come up to speed and slow down, but it's neither here nor there. So that's 150 grit. I'll see how I get on with that.